Good day everyone, and today we're gonna learn something very interesting na I know you've encountered once or twice in your life na hindi mo man lang na-notice. Actually, it's affecting every aspect of your life right now, especially now in the information age. It is IP addresses. Pero let's start muna with a story to help you visualize now. Imagine this. One day, bumisita ka sa isang malaking subdivision. Ang daming bahay sa subdivision na yan. And they all look the same, di ba? Lalo na kung Camellia, yung subdivision. Para-paras yung bahay. So, kung gusto mong hanapin yung tropa mo, di ba? Yung bahay nila. Paano mahahanap kung para-paras sila ng itsura ng bahay? Unlike sa mga ibang bahay sa outside the subdivision, they look different. So, manonotice mo agad. But here, they all look the same. So, maliligaw ka, di ba? Kung pumasok ka doon. That's exactly the type of world na mangyayari kung walang IP addresses. Imagine mo sa internet, paano ka makakahanap ng place na gusto mong puntahan if there's no address or pointers for it. So, kagaya ng mga subdivision na mayroong addresses and house number, kunyari 917, 265, and alam mo kung nasang street, Park Street, Main Street, Back Street, malaman mo agad kung saan ka pupunta and hindi ka maliligaw. Ganun din ang nangyayari ngayon in our world, in our internet and informational and gadget-based world. Lahat ng device, lahat ng laptop, lahat ng phone, at even smart TV mo meron din. Meron silang unique addresses so they can find each other and talk to each other. Our current version of IP address ngayon is 4, the IPv4. And that's what we're gonna learn today. An IPv4 address is a 32-bit hierarchical address na nagko-consist of two important parts. First is the network portion and then the host portion. So what are these two? What are the differences? The network portion identifies which network a device belongs to. Pwede mong isipin ito para isang street name, no? Isang home address. It tells us the general area or community where the device is located. Hindi pa siya masyadong specific kung nasa ng bahay, pero ang street nagbibigay ng general idea. Kunyari sa street na to or sa block na to, nandito yung bahay na hinahanap mo. And all devices that share the same network portion belong to the same network, allowing them to easily communicate with each other efficiently. On the other hand, ito yung mas specific na the host portion. This is the specific address of that network. This part works like a house number. Hindi na siya street, pero may house number na siya. Kunyari, 917, 265, 4704, 505. It uniquely points to only one device among many inside the same network. And no two devices share the same single host address. Lahat sila iba-iba. Kunyari, diba? Lahat tayo, bawat tao, may iba't iba tayong fingerprint. That works the same as if the host portion or the host part in the IPv4 addresses. It's the unique identifier for a network. So, just like how house numbers and street name help ang isang mailman, kunyari isang delivery driver, kunyari, sabihin mo na sa Shopee, kunyari, I live at 917 Main Street. Alam na agad nila kung saan ka pupuntahan para i-deliver yung mail or yung package mo. Ganun din ang nangyayari sa pag-transmit ng data across the internet. IPv4 helps data find its way across networks. When you send a message or gusto mong mag-load ng isang website or mag-stream ng video kunya sa Netflix or YouTube, the data travels through several networks until they find the right one, which is ang sarili mong IPv4 addresses, and in-ensure nila na makapunta sila sa tamang destination, which comes from the right source. So, in today's lecture, we'll dive deeper on how IPv4 addressing really works. So, you better listen up. We will learn to identify which parts of an IP address represents the network and the host, and understanding why we need to master this concept and this idea now, especially for us who may want to build, manage, or troubleshoot different types of computer networks. So by the end of discussion, we'll hope na natuto kayo and listen carefully. So, let's start!
Pag-usapan naman natin ang subnet mask. Ang subnet mask ay parang guide or divider na nagsasabi kung aling part ng IP address ang network at host. Sa madaling salita, hinahati niya ang IP sa dalawang bahagi, which is network part and the host part. Network part is ito yung grupo ng mga computers na same ang network. Host part is ito naman yung specific computer or device na nasa loob ng network. Para malaman ng computer kung aling network at alin ang host, ginagamit ito ng process na tinatawag na ANDing. Ang ANDing ay paraan kung saan kinukumpara bit by bit ang IP address at subnet mask from left to right. Kaya kapag 1 yung subnet mask natin, ibig sabihin nito, part siya ng network. Kapag 0 naman, ibig sabihin nun, siya po yung host natin. Sa ganitong paraan, nalalaman po ng computer kung aling part ng IP address ay para sa network at alin naman ang para sa host. For example, yung nasa baba. Ang IP address dito is 192.168.10 and 10. So, ang subnet naman natin, 255, 255, 255, and 0. Dito, yung 255, yung tatlong 255 po is ones. Bakit 1? Kasi in binary, puro ones po yan. Kaya ito po yung network part natin. Yung 0 ay 0. Kaya siya po yung host part natin. Kaya ang 192 and 168.10 tumutukoy sa network part natin. At ang point 10 ay host or specific computer sa loob nyon. Kaya kung ang isang computer ay may IP address na 192.168.10 and 11, pareho silang network pero magkaiba po sila ng host.
Naman natin ang the prefix length is a less cumbersome method used to identify a subnet mask address. Is the number of bits set to 1 in the subnet mask. Written in slash notation, count the number of bits in the subnet mask and prepend with the slash. Sa madaling salita, ang prefix length ay mahalaga sa computer networking at iba pang address ng isang IP. Tinatawag nila itong Internet Protocol Addressing. Sabi nga dito, it is used to divide the network into smaller subnet with a larger prefix length, creating a smaller subnet with more addresses. Kumbaga, hinahati nito ang mga bit na pinapasa ng host sa ibang device na galing sa isang network or isang router. Pinapasa ito sa CIDR notation na may component na slash kung tawagin, para ma-separate ang IP address to prefix length. Parang nag-convert. For example, meron tayong prefix length 24-bit. Ang unang 24-bit ng IP address ay ang network portion or ang bahagi ng isang network. Sa paghati nito, ang natitirang 8-bit na galing sa 32 ang kabuong bit ng isang IPv4, magma-minus to sa 24, bali dun siya lulubog sa 24 na yan. So magma-minus siya, magiging 8 na lang. Ang tawag doon ay host portion or bahagi pa rin ng isang device. Minsan, ginagamit ito sa mga router para malaman kung saan pinapadala ng data ang destination ng isang IP address na nanggagaling pa rin sa parehong network prefix lengths. Dinedirekta ito sa mga local network kung hindi pinapadala sa ibang router, sa isang router lang. At yun lang po. Salamat.
Determining the network. Logical AND. It is used in determining the network address. Logical AND compares two bits where only a 1 and 1 produce a 1 and any other combination results in a 0. 1 and 1 is equals to 1. 0 and 1 is equals to 0. 1 and 0 is equals to 0. 0 and 0 is equals to 0. Kumbaga, basta meron siyang isang 0, mag-equals na siya sa 0. 1 is equals to true and 0 is equals to false. To identify the network address, the host IPv4 address is logically ANDed bit by bit with the subnet mask to identify the network address. The calculation to find the network address relies on a logical AND operation which must be performed bit by bit between the host IP address, and subnet mask. In this operation, a resulting bit is a 1 only if the corresponding bits in both the IP address and the subnet mask are 1. Any combination involving a 0, for example, 1 and 0, 0 and 1, 0 and 0, katulad sinabi ko kanina, basta may isang 0, magre-result siya sa 0. The subnet mask consists of contiguous ones for the network portion and zeros for the host portion. Therefore, the logical AND operation effectively clears all the host bits in the IP address to 0, leaving only the network portion, which is the official network address.
Hello, my name is Lester and I will now be explaining the network, host, and broadcast addresses. Within each network are 3 types of IP addresses. First one, the network address. This identifies the entire network and is used to refer to all the devices within that specific network. Ito yung special name na meron ang kada network na pwede ring makita ng mga ibang network at mga gumagamit ng network na iyon. So, parang ayun yung name ng network na iyon na pwede nilang magamit. The second one is host addresses. These are unique addresses assigned to individual devices like computers, printers, or phones within the network so they can communicate with each other. Ito naman yung special name pero pang users naman ng network na ginagamit para mag-communicate sa iba't ibang users ng network na iyon. And lastly, broadcast address. This address is used to send messages to all devices on the same network at once. Ito naman yung main address na ginagamit mainly para mag-broadcast or send the message sa lahat ng connected devices sa isang network na iyon. And that is all for today. Thank you.
Unicast. Ang unicast ay isa sa pinaka-common na type ng network communication. Ibig sabihin nito, ang data ay pinapadala mula sa isang device papunta lang sa isang specific na device. Parang nagsisend ka ng private message sa isang tao lang. Halimbawa, kung ang PC na may IP address na 172.16.4.1 ay gusto magpadala ng file sa printer na may IP 172.16.4.253. Yung packet ng data ay diretso lang mapupunta sa printer na yun. Hindi ito makikita o matatanggap ng ibang device sa network. Actually, ginagamit ang unicast sa mga activities tulad ng web browsing, pag-send ng email o pag-access ng server. Kasi ito ang one-to-one communication. Ang advantage nito, secure at direct ang communication. Pero ang downside, kung marami ang kailangan makakuha ng parehong data, kailangan magpadala ng hiwalay-hiwalay na copies. Kaya mas mabagal. So in short, unicast, one sender to one receiver. Simple, direct, at personal na paraan ng pagpapadala ng data network.
Broadcast transmission is sending a packet to all other destination IP addresses. For example, the PC at 172.16.4.1 sends a broadcast packet to all IPv4 hosts. Broadcast transmission is a method where one device sends data to every other device on a local network. New devices use broadcast to find network services, like printer or root. Servers can send updates to all clients. Technically, the sending device uses a special broadcast address like 255.255.255.255 to ensure the message reaches everyone. However, excessive broadcast can cause network congestion and security vulnerabilities. To mitigate this, networks are often divided into smaller broadcast domains. Think of it like a town crier shouting an announcement, everyone hears it.
but too much shouting becomes disruptive.
Multicast transmission ay isang paraan ng papadala ng data packet sa isang particular na group ng mga device sa loob ng network, hindi katulad ng broadcast, kung saan pinapadala ang data sa lahat ng device. Sa multicast naman, yung mga naka-join lang sa group ang makakatanggap ng data. For example, gaya na nakikita sa slide ko, yung PC na may IP address na 172.168.1 ay nagpapadala ng multicast packet sa group address na 224.10105. Ibig sabihin, yung mga computer lang na part ng group na ito ang makakatanggap ng packet at hindi lahat ng nasa network. Sa madaling sabi, ang multicast ay mas efficient dahil nakakatipid ito ng oras at resources sa network kasi direkta lang itong nagpapadala sa mga intended receiver.
Ano nga ba ang IPv4 address? Ang IPv4 address or ang Internet Protocol version 4 ay isang numerical label na ginagamit para ma-identify ang devices sa isang network, na para bang home address mo ito sa internet world. Now, ayon sa RFC 1918, may dalawang uri ng IPv4 address, ang public at ang private. Let's start with IPv4 public address. Ito yung mga addresses na globally routed, meaning ginagamit sila para makakonect sa internet. Usually, ito ay binibigay ng mga internet service providers, ng mga ISP para makakilala ang devices mo sa buong internet. On the other hand naman, meron tayong private IPv4 address. Ito naman yung mga ginagamit internally sa loob ng isang organization or network tulad ng schools, offices, or pwede rin sa bahay natin. Halimbawa na lamang yung mga IPv4 address natin or mga address range na nakikita nyo ngayon sa top left ng slides na ito. Ito yung mga tinatawag na RFC 1918 private addresses ranges. Pero tandaan, ang private IPv4 address ay hindi unique at globally routable. Ibig sabihin, pwede silang maulit sa ibang networks pero hindi sila magagamit directly sa internet. And kailangan muna nilang dumaan sa router or NAT para makakonect sa outside world. So in short, ang public address, kinokonekta tayo nito sa internet, while ang private addresses naman, kinokonekta tayo sa local network lang.
Routing to the internet. Network Address Translation or NAT translates private IPv4 address to public IPv4 address. NAT is typically enabled on the edge router connecting to the internet. It translates the internal private address to a public global IP address. So sabi dito, yung Network Address Translation daw o NAT ay isang process na ginagamit para makakonect yung mga devices sa loob ng private network papunta sa internet gamit lamang ang isang public IP address. Halimbawa, sa bahay o sa school. Lahat ng gadgets tulad ng phones at computers may kanya-kanyang private IP. Pero hindi yan pwedeng direktang gamitin sa internet. Kaya kapag may device na gusto mag-open ng website, si NAT na usually naka-enable sa router ang nagtatranslate ng private IP papunta sa public IP. Kapag bumalik naman ang data galing sa internet, binabalik ulit na NAT yung public IP papunta sa tamang private IP para makarating sa tamang device. Nakakatulong ito para makasave ng public IP address at nagbibigay din ng security kasi hindi nakikita ng mga tao sa internet ang private IPs ng mga devices mo.
Our topic is all about special use IP version 4 addresses, specifically sa loopback address. Ang loopback address ay ginagamit para i-test kung gumagana ang TCP or IP sa isang computer. Usually, ginagamit natin ng IP address ng 127.0.0.1 na kilala rin bilang localhost. Ibig sabihin nito, kapag nagting tayo sa 127.0.0.1, tinetest lang natin kung operational ang network system ng sarili nating computer, hindi ibang device. Ang range nito ay mula 127.0.0.1 hanggang 127.255.255.254. Pero madalas isa lang talaga ang ginagamit, yung 127.0.0.1. Kaya kapag nagtatype tayo ng ping 127.0.0.1 sa command prompt ay lumalabas na at may lumalabas na reply, ibig sabihin gumagana ng maayos ang TCP or IP configuration ng ating system.
Hello everyone, my name is Christopher Kevin Sigalica and I will be discussing Legacy Class Mode Addressing. RFC 790 was developed back in 1981 and it allocated IPv4 into 5 different classes, which is Class A hanggang Class E. To start off, we should look at our pie chart. Makikita natin dito yung Class A takes around 50% ng pie chart natin. This is because yung gumagamit nito is mga companies that require large networks. Kunyari na lang mga multinational companies or government organizations. This is because it can hold 16 million hosts. Next is Class B, which takes about 25% ng pie chart. This is used by medium-sized organization and it can support around 65,000 networks. Next is Class C, which takes about 12.5%. Yung Class C naman po is reserved for small companies that require small networks. Since yung Class C po can only support 254 hosts. Lastly po, yung Class D and E takes around 12.5%. Pinaghalo na po siya. And yung Class D po is used for multicasting and Class E is reserved para sa experimental or future uses. That's all for my part. The next reporter is Emperado.
IANA ay isang organization na may trabaho na mag-manage at mag-allocate ng IP address, IPv4 at IPv6 sa buong mundo. Parang itong main distributor ng IP address. Pero dahil sa sobrang dami ng users at organization sa buong mundo, hindi direkta sa IANA ang nagbibigay ng IP address sa lahat. Instead, inati nila ang mundo sa 5 regions at bawat regions ay may sariling regional internet registry.
RIR or Regional Internet Registry. These are organizations that manage and distribute IP address gaya ng IP version 4 at IP version 6 sa loob ng specific ng mundo. RIR allocate large blocks of IP address to internet service provider or ISP. The ISP then assigns smaller portions of those address to smaller ISP companies or mga individual organization na nangangailangan para sa kanilang network.
Next is network segmentation. Many protocols use broadcast or multicast. This means that some network protocol sends message to multiple devices at once instead na isa lang. For example is ARP or Address Resolution Protocol. It used to find MAC address of another device on the same network. Another example is DHCP or Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. It used by new device to get the IP address. Next bullet is switch propagate broadcast out all interfaces except the interface on which it was received. This explains how the switch handles broadcast message. Sa madaling salita, yung kapag ang switch is when a switch receive a broadcast like ARP or DHCP, pino-forward niya to sa lahat ng port. Halimbawa sa school, may message yung principal para sa mga student, pati sa teacher. Ang makaka-receive ng message na yun is mga student tsaka teacher, maliban lang sa mismong nagbigay ng message, which is yung principal. Kumbaga, hindi na bumabalik yung message sa sender.
Good day everyone, I'm John Michael Pasqua. Let's continue the discussion of network segmentation. The only device that stop broadcast is a router. So, yung ibig sabihin yan daw ng bullet na yan is yung router daw is nag-act as barrier to prevent broadcast message from spreading to other network, or sa madaling salita, parang siya yung nagpe-prevent para yung ng mga broadcast message ma-spread pa sa ibang network. So next is router do not propagate broadcast. So ibig sabihin naman yan, this means router do not forward broadcast message. They keep them within the same network. So yung yun nga, gaya nga ng una kong sinabi sa bullet 1 na yung router daw is nag-act as barrier. So yung router na yon is di siya nagpo-forward naman ng message sa ibang network. So nandun lang talaga siya sa mismong router na yun, o same network. So next is each router interface connects to a broadcast domain, and broadcasts are only propagate within a specific broadcast domain. So every interface on a router belongs to a separate network. So broadcasts stay only that network and don't reach others.
So good day everyone. I will be presenting the problems with large broadcast domain. So bago tayo mag-start, ano nga ba ang broadcast domain? Ang broadcast domain ay isang bahagi ng network kung saan lahat ng devices like computers, printers, routers, etc. ay nakakatanggap ng broadcast messages mula sa isa't isa. So ano yung broadcast messages? Ang broadcast messages ay isang signal o data na ipinapadala sa lahat ng devices sa network para mag-share ng info. So let's go to the bullet. A problem with the large broadcast domain is that this host can generate excessive broadcasts and negatively affect the network. Sabi, kapag malaki ang broadcast domain, ibig sabihin, maraming devices ang sabay-sabay na napapadala ng messages sa network. Dahil dito, ang dami ng broadcast, kaya bumabagal ang network at nahihirapan makipag-communicate ng ibang devices. The solution is to reduce the network sizes to create smaller broadcast domains in a process called subnetting. Sabi dyan ay, pinaka-solusyon lang daw ay hatiin ang malalaking network sa mas maliliit na parts para mas kaunti ang devices sa bawat isa, para mas mabilis at mas maayos ang takbo ng isang network. So, dividing the network addresses in 172.16.0.0/16 into two subnets of 200 users, 172.16.0.0/24 and 172.16.1.0/24. Ang sabi dyan, hatiin daw ang network na 172.16.0/16 sa dalawang subnets para sa 200 users. And broadcasts are only propagate within the smaller broadcast domain. Ang sabi dyan, ang broadcast messages daw ay isang maliit na network lang at hindi na sila kumakalat sa ibang network. Kaya mas kaunti ang network traffic at mas mabilis ang internet.
My topic is about reasons for segmenting networks. When we say network segmentation or subnetting, it means dividing one large network into smaller parts called subnets. One of the main reasons for doing this is to reduce overall network traffic and improve network performance. When too many devices are connected to a single network, it can slow down communication and cause bottlenecks or broadcast storms. Another reason is security subnetting. Helps implement security policy between subnets. For example, HR department can have its own subnet so it can restrict access to files from other departments. It also reduces the number of devices affected by abnormal traffic or broadcast problems, keeping the network more stable. Subnets are used for different reasons, including 1. Location. Each building or floor can have its own subnet. 2. Group or function. Each department or team such as HR, IT, or accounting can have separate subnet. 3. Device type. Segmentation can also be based on type of devices such as printer, server, workstations. In short, network segmentation helps make the network more organized, secure, and efficient.
Summary, yung IPv4 address ay gumagamit ng iba't ibang type ng communication. Yun ay ang unicast one-to-one, broadcast one-to-all, at multicast one-to-many. And also, may mga public addresses na ginagamit rin sa internet, ganon din sa private addresses na ginagamit naman para sa internal networks, opisina o bahay. Example din dito is yung loopback address na ginagamit for testing. Para makatipid sa public addresses, ginagamit ang network address translation or NAT para ma-convert ang private addresses sa public address bago lumabas sa internet. So sa pag-divide ng mga malalaking network sa mas maliit na parts or subnetting, mas napapabilis at secure ang isang network. Kung walang IPv4 address, ang isang gadget, walang communication na mangyayari sa bawat device lalo na sa internet.